The Apocalypse of Abraham. The Book of the Apocalypse of Abraham, son of Terah, son of Nahor, son of Serug, son of Arphaxad, son of Shem, son of Noah, son of Lamech, son of Methuselah, son of Enoch, son of Jared. Chapter 1. On the day I was tasked with safeguarding the idols of my father, Terah, and my brother, Nahor, I, Abraham, found myself questioning the true power of these so-called gods. As I fulfilled my duty in offering sacrifices to my father's deities, made of wood, stone, gold, silver, copper, and iron, an incident occurred in their temple. A stone-carved god by the name of Mar-Umat had toppled over, lying at the feet of the iron deity Nachon. This sight left me puzzled and concerned, for the idol was too heavy for me to lift due to its large stone constitution. I shared this situation with my father, who accompanied me back to the temple. Together, we attempted to hoist Mar-Umat back into place, but as we did so, the god's head detached, remaining in my grasp. My father, witnessing the decapitation of his god Mar-Umat, called out to me, "Abraham," to which I responded, "Here I am." He then instructed me to fetch axes and chisels from our house. Upon my return, my father began to craft a new Mar-Umat from another stone, leaving it headless. The fallen head was then attached to this newly formed idol, and the remnants of the first Mar-Umat were shattered and discarded. Chapter 2. My father then created 5 additional gods, entrusting me with the task of selling them along the town's main road. I loaded these gods onto my father's donkey and set off. Along my journey, I encountered merchants from the Aramean plains on their way to Egypt to trade grain in the Nile region. As we conversed, a camel from their caravan let out a scream, causing my donkey to bolt in fear, consequently dropping and shattering 3 of the gods, leaving 2 intact. Upon seeing the idols, the Syrian merchants asked why I hadn't informed them of my cargo. They expressed their willingness to purchase the gods before the unfortunate incident with the camel, thus saving me from any loss. After some consideration, I agreed to their proposition. They paid not only for the intact gods, but also for the shattered ones, easing my concerns about how I would compensate my father. Finally, I discarded the broken idols into the river Gor's waters, where they sunk into the depths, disappearing from sight. Chapter 3. While I was still journeying on the road, my heart felt unsettled, and my thoughts were scattered. I found myself questioning, why does my father engage in this futile activity? Is he not the creator of his own gods, forming them with his carving, planning, and skills? It would make more sense for these creations to honor my father, as they are the products of his work. What support does my father gain from these creations of his? Look at Mar-Umat, who fell and was unable to rise in his own sanctuary. I couldn't lift him by myself until my father arrived, and together we managed to set him upright. Even then, we weren't successful as his head fell off. My father attached it to another stone belonging to another god that he had made without a head. And what about the other 5 gods that were shattered from falling off the donkey? They couldn't save themselves, nor punish the donkey for breaking them, nor could their fragments be retrieved from the river. I pondered, if this is the case, how can my father's god Mar-Umat, crafted from one stone and given the head of another, provide salvation, hear a man's prayer, or bestow any gifts? Chapter 4. With these thoughts, I returned to my father's house. I tended to the donkey, providing it with water and hay. Then I took out the silver earrings and handed them to my father Terah. Seeing this, he was overjoyed and exclaimed, "You are blessed, Abraham, by the God of my gods, as you have brought me the payment for the gods, making my labor worthwhile." In response, I told him, "Listen, Father, your God should be the ones blessing you, since you're their creator. Their so-called blessings are their downfall, and their power is non-existent. They couldn't even help themselves, so how could they possibly help you or bless me? I was beneficial to you in this transaction because I used my judgment to bring you the silver for the broken gods." Upon hearing my words, he was filled with rage because I had spoken critically of his gods. Chapter 5. Reflecting on my father's anger, I went out. As soon as I had stepped out, he called after me, "Abraham," to which I replied, "I'm here." He instructed me, "Go and gather wood chips. I had been crafting gods from her before you arrived, and now the leftover wood chips can be used for preparing my midday meal." As I was collecting the wooden pieces, I stumbled upon a small god, comfortably fitting in my left hand. The inscription on its forehead read, "Bar-Eshet." Placing the chips on the fire to prepare my father's meal, I positioned Bar-Eshet next to the growing flames. I sternly told him, "Bar-Eshet, ensure the fire doesn't extinguish before I return. If it starts to dwindle, blow on it to fan the flames." Upon returning, I found Bar-Eshet toppled over, his feet engulfed by the fire, burning vigorously. A chuckle escaped me as I mused, "Bar-Eshet, you certainly know how to keep a fire going and cook food." But as I stood laughing, I watched as he slowly succumbed to the fire and reduced to ashes. I served the prepared food to my father along with wine and milk. As he ate and drank, he grew merry and proceeded to bless his god Mar-Umat. I interjected, "Father Terah, don't praise Mar-Umat, your god. Praise Bar-Eshet, your god instead. It's as if out of love for you, he sacrificed himself to the fire to cook your food." My father inquired, "Where is he now?" I replied, "He has been consumed by the intensity of the fire, and is now dust." To this he declared, "The power of Bar-Eshet is impressive. I will create another one today, and tomorrow he will prepare my meal." Chapter 6. Upon hearing such words from my father, I, Abraham, laughed inwardly and felt a bitter anger stir within me. I thought, how can an idol made by him assist my father? Has he allowed his body to be ruled by his soul by his spirit, and the spirit by foolishness and ignorance? I decided, despite the potential repercussions, to express my thoughts honestly. I responded, "Father Terah, you are mistaken in your adoration of these gods. Consider the gods of my brother Nahor, stationed in the holy sanctuary. They command more respect than yours. Zach, Nahor's god, is more esteemed than Mar-Umat, your god, as Zach is made of gold, which man values. Even if he ages with time, he can be remodeled. In contrast, Mar-Umat, being made of stone, cannot be repaired or renewed if altered or broken. Avraham, another god who stands alongside Zach, is also more revered than Bar-Eshet, your god. Avraham, carved from wood and overlaid with silver, is valued by man for its external appearance. But Bar-Eshet, before you fashioned him into a god, was a majestic tree rooted in the earth, adorned with branches and flowers. You transformed him with an axe, and by your craftsmanship, he became a god. Now, he has dried up, lost his lushness, dwindled from greatness to insignificance, and his appearance has faded. He was consumed by the fire and reduced to ashes. You say, I will make another one, and he will prepare my meal tomorrow. But in his demise, he didn't even have the strength to prevent his destruction.
Hey, Pinchas here. I hope you enjoyed listening to my new translation of the Apocalypse of Abraham. If you did, hit the like button. Isn't it an interesting lore about Abraham's early life? What you just heard is only an excerpt. The complete story is available in my book, Unheard Voices of Hebrew Kings and Prophets. You can find it on Amazon as a paperback, Kindle, or audiobook. For your convenience, I put a direct link to the book in the description of this video. So thanks for listening, and don't forget to subscribe.